Okay, so hello students, welcome back. So today we'll see one more problem of quantum mechanics, and this question has been asked in CSIR NET June 2024. So what is the question? You can see the question on your screen. So for a particle of mass m, Hamiltonian is given to us where potential is also defined like this: minus alpha x for x is less than 0 and beta x for x is greater than 0. And from the WKB approximation, the energy of nth state is given to us. Fine. And from this energy, you can see this term f alpha beta. This function we have to find out. So let's try to solve this question. So see, in this question, this potential is defined like this. So can I plot this potential first? How we can plot this potential? This potential is very simple. We can easily plot this one. So this is x versus this potential Vx. So less than 0 minus alpha x, straight line. This kind of potential for x is greater than 0, proportional to x, again straight line. Right? And we can also define energy somewhere here. Let's suppose this is the energy E. E, or you can also call it En, whatever you can call it. Fine. So these two are the turning points. X1 and X2. Fine. Now, from the WKB approximation for this kind of potential, we know how to find out the energy, right? You know this formula that from X1 to X2, P dx is nothing but n minus 1 by 2 pi h cut, where n is nothing but 1, 2, 3 and so on. So we will use this formula. So for this formula, what we need? First we need this x1 and x2, right? These boundaries, fine. And also we need this p, that we can easily find out because Hamiltonian is given to us and it is a conservative system, so we can consider this as a energy E. Now let's try to find out. First, let's try to find out this x1 and x2. For x1, what you can do? You know that in phase curve, these x1 and x2, if you know in the classical mechanics, this x1 and x2 are the turning points. And from at these turning points, when you plot the phase curve between x versus px, so at these turning points, momentum is always 0, right? So I can say this p is 0 at this turning point, right? So what is this energy E? P square by 2m, because we are calculating it at x1, so potential is this one, minus alpha x, and when you put p is equals to 0, x1, sorry, so this will give you x1 is minus E by alpha. Similarly, you can calculate for x2. X2 again, momentum is 0 and energy is defined like this: p square by 2m plus beta x. This is x2 now. When you put p is equals to 0, this x2 will become E by beta. Fine. Very simple. So now we know this x1, x2 for the limits, and that we can put in this one. Let's suppose this is equation 1. From equation 1, I can say limit, what is this, minus E by alpha to E by beta, and what is P? You can calculate this P from here. So I can write it like this: under root 2me 2m E minus Vx dx, and this is equals to n minus 1 by 2 pi आ गया. Fine. Now what you can do, I can take this under root 2me common, under root 2me, and this limit is minus e by alpha to e by beta, and this will become 1 minus Vx over, sorry, this 2m is already there, V by E dx, which is equals to n minus 1 by 2 pi h cut. Fine. Now you see, now we'll put this value of potential Vx. So we can separate between two limits, minus e by alpha to 0, because potential is different in these two different regions. So we can put these two regions, x1 to 0 and 0 to x2, right? So you can break down these limits and put the value of potential 2me minus e by alpha to 0 under root 1 minus, what is this potential? Minus alpha x. So this will become plus alpha x by e dx plus under root 2me, and this is 0 to e by beta under root 1 minus beta x over e into dx, and this is equals to n minus 1 by 2 pi h cut. Fine. Now we can easily solve these two integrations. How you can solve? Very simple. What I will do, let's consider 1 minus, सॉरी 1 प्लस, पहले हम बीटा को लिख देते हैं, अल्फा को लिखते हैं, 1 प्लस अल्फा एक्स बाई ई, लेट सपोज दिस इज सम y1 एंड 1 माइनस बीटा एक्स बाई ई, लेट सपोज दिस इज y2. Now let's try to put these values. So this will become under root 2me. Now what are these limits? When you put x is equals to minus e by alpha in this one, so this will become 1 minus 1. This is start from 0, and when you put 0, this will become 1, 0 to 1, and this is under root y1 into, what is dx? This will become e by alpha into dy1 plus under root 2me. Now what is this limit? When you put 0, this will become 1. When you put e by beta, this will become 0. And this is under root y2, and this is, when you find out dy2, this will become minus beta, sorry, e by beta. E by beta dy2, and which is equals to n minus 1 by 2 pi h cut. Now see this one carefully. This limit is from 1 to 0, and here we have this minus sign. So what I will do, I will remove this minus sign and I will change this limit. This is simple mathematics. I will change the limit from 0 to 1 by removing this minus sign. Fine. Now let's see what we will get. I'm just writing here. So this under root 2me, I can take common from these two, and e also I can take common into e. Now see, what is this term? This is 1 by alpha into When you solve this integration, this is simply under root y1 to the power 1 by 2. You can integrate this one and you can easily put the limits. So this will simply become 2 by 3, this one. And similarly, same kind of this one is also. So this is 1 by beta into 2 by 3, and which is equals to n minus 1 by 2 pi h cut. So now this will become under root 2m into e to the power 3 by 2 into 2 by 3. This is 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta is equals to n minus 1 by 2 pi h cut. Fine. फर्दर व्हाट यू कैन डू, अब देखो आप हमें इस तरह का टर्म बनाना है, तो इस सारी टर्म्स को हम इधर लेके जाते हैं. सो दिस विल बिकम e टू दी पावर 3 बाई 2 इज इक्वल्स टू, देखिए क्या होगा, दिस इज 3 बाई 2 and you see this is h cut over under root 2m. But instead of this what we can do, हम पूरा अंडर रूट ले लेते हैं, इसको h cut स्क्वायर कर देते हैं. Both are the same thing, and then this pi is as it is into 1 over 1 plus alpha plus 1 over beta, this thing. Now see, this one is our alpha beta, this one is nothing but f alpha beta. You can simplify this one, so this will simply become alpha beta divided by alpha plus beta. So this is your answer. So this question is very simple and straightforward. The only thing in this question which you have to understand and you have to remember, the calculation. The calculation part is very important. If you make any kind of mistake in the calculation, then you will not get the results. So it's very, very important that how you are proceeding with the calculation, right? And that comes from the practice. So I hope you like this discussion. If you like the discussion, just write down in the comment section. Also like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो लाइक, कमेंट, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब आवर चैनल.